do you think the Eagles were dumb for signing Barkley?
When I initially heard it, I didn't like it at all. Like, okay. When I first heard it, I said, are you kidding me? Because what I saw was you're giving Saquon 3 years, 37.5, and the Bears gave DeAndre Swift 3 years, 24. Why the hell would you not just keep DeAndre Swift? I would rather have him. To my understanding, they actually tried to. Like, they wanted to keep him, and then he ended up signing with the Bears. I don't know if it's because they didn't want to give him more than that, whatever. I'm not sure, but if I'm under that understanding where they actually tried to sign Swift first, okay. But instead, they go and sign Barkley. Barkley is a really good running back. And the more I thought about it, the more I don't want to say liked it, but I'm okay with it because they're really not giving him that much money. And when you look at the Eagles' cap situation, I don't know how they're doing it, but they do not have a lot of cap hits. Like, they are able to have a lot of good players without going over the cap. They still have plenty of money to spend. And I think they want to take a lot of the workload off of Jalen Hurts. I don't know if I trust the offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore, to do that, but to me, that's what the signing of Saquon Barkley says. It says we want to run the ball more and take some of the weight off Jalen Hurts because he's getting hurt every single week. And injuries are starting to be a problem. He can't run as much. You put Barkley behind that line, they can be dominant.
You said the key phrase that I was waiting for, and you weren't even talking about Barkley. You were talking about Jalen Hurts. But injury. 3 of the last 4 seasons, Saquon has missed sustainable time that actually mattered. So you're taking a big risk here, okay, with Barkley. And I know last season he did pretty good. I get it. But I'm with you. I'm not pumped about it, and I'm not depressed about it. I'm middle of the road. Like, I think it's going to help him because it's Saquon Barkley and he's still capable. But ultimately, I don't. What helps him is, like, there's no running backs, no really, really good running backs coming out of the draft class. So, like, he looks better than he probably should. He's maybe a little overvalued right now. But I think it's just kind of okay.
You think he's overvalued?
I think he's a little overvalued. Yeah, I think he is. Because when you look at the running back market, it's like, yeah, he may be a top 5 running back, but like if we went back 5 years ago, he would fall somewhere in the 10 to 11 position.
I don't know.
We don't have the same running backs like we used to.
True, but the last 2 years, he's been good. Like, because he had the injuries in 2020, 2021, the injuries, but 2022, 1,400 yards. Last year, 960 yards with no offensive line. I feel like that's
like
good value.
I said, he's still explosive. So that's something he can hang his hat on. I hope he does good, and I hope this works out for the Eagles because, you know, losing Swift, they needed to offset that workload for Jalen Hurts, and, you know, they also lost Jason Kelce, so the line's not as strong potentially, and, you know, you just don't know what's going to happen, but one thing's for sure, this is a huge red flag in the dirt saying, hey, everybody, we're running the ball this year, and this is who we're going to use to run that ball.
You mentioned just who he is and his age. I will say that is one of the things that I think about and that kind of concerns me is he is entering year 7 of his career. That is when you start to see, I mean, if you look at a chart of when running backs fall off, that's when it takes a nosedive, okay?
Except for Derrick Henry.
Sure, he is an anomaly. I think I understand why they did it. It's not my favorite move, but at the same time, I'm kind of hedging my bet here because I can see the potential upside, but I can see the ways it can go wrong. This is the thing I want to ask you, because this is where I'm conflicted. Do you trust Kellen Moore to commit to a run game? Because I was telling my friend who was an Eagles fan, we were talking about it. And I said to him, it's super easy to commit to the run game in March. It's another thing in October when you actually have to do it week in and week out. So Kellen Moore can be pass happy. That was one of the problems McCarthy had with him in Dallas. Is this going to be different? I don't know.
I think this is how March is going for them. They're sitting around this table and they're all talking and they're like, Kellen, I really think we should run the ball more. He's like, guys, I got you. We got to run the ball more. What do you say we get Barkley in here? Barkley? Sounds great. Let's man, he's a good. Like, yeah, he's got a little bit of injury issue, but man, did you see him last season with no offensive line? Let's get him over here. Great. So playbook says, 40% of the time we're going to run. All right, great. Second game of the season. Hurts, this is what you're going to do. You're going to go run the ball.
Yeah, right.
That guy behind you, Barkley, just not worry about him.
Forget
he's
exists.
Not there. He's going to try to pick up a block, and you're going to run. So pretty much going to throw away that preseason playbook, right. That when I was writing in, making everybody think I was going to do something. We're not going to do that. I think that's how it's going to go, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Because he's notorious for doing that. And he's going to put the weight on Jalen Hurts, or Jalen Hurts will put the weight on himself, and they just won't commit to that run game.
Right. And it's not like Kellen Moore was super impressive last year with the Chargers. I know you can't blame all of it on him. Obviously, that whole place was a disaster, but I don't know. He doesn't give me a vote of confidence. It was clear you lost Shane Steichen, one of the best offensive minds. I know I've been hammering this point, but it's just we have to talk about it. I don't know if Kellen Moore is the answer.